the buzz is back. Yeah, 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 yeah. Da, 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 da. I am no Elton John. Okay, that's probably going to be all distorted too. But I'm excited. Dan Summers here. The buzz is back.
Yeah,
We have
yeah, the
people
buzz
asking
is
us what
back.
happened to us again.
Yeah, it's good to be back, Eric.
It
It's
is. You have a very nice. Well, I was going to say you have a nice tan, and you look like you've been out in the sun. But
you
okay.
look a little more tan than me.
Uh,
Me.
It's a
Would you
natural. I
say
was
it's
just
a
reading. I
degree?
was just reading actually about gingers, and gingers have the ability to create their own vitamin D because our corpuscles, or capillaries are so close to the surface of our skin that primarily gingers are less likely to be depressed, and we have less hair on our head. See?
Thank you, Dr. Science.
Yeah, you betcha. So yeah, summer's here. Any special plans for summer? Doing anything fun?
I think we've waited so long for it here in Chicago. I'm just happy to get out and experience a few more concerts or movies at Millennium Park. Maybe take in a concert or two in the near future, like the next week or two. So that will be pretty awesome. No better place on earth in the summertime than here.
Well, thanks for inviting me. And I have a I have a personal goal for summer, Dan.
Yes. What
It's
is that?
it's no tan lines for myself. Do you know why that is? Do you know how I can achieve that?
How's that?
Primarily, gingers don't tan. All right, so so you wanted to talk a little bit about Ad Age, a thing you read in Ad Age. Why don't you jump into the what we were, what you're going to talk about here? Let's get us
Yeah,
into it. Let's get back into it.
yeah. I was taking in an article today that was about how CEOs are changing a bit in the way that about 1960s Mad Men-ish era. Used to be they would
I
be.
don't know what you're talking about, Dan. Give me a drink here.
They used to be a constant at the boardroom table, and that as time went on, that as marketing departments got a lot bigger, that they kind of some of them more were like, this marketing thing, this brand stuff is important. You just let me know what's going on with it. Keep me in the loop. If hopefully they said that. So over the last few decades, we've seen them start to edge away from the table, and now with social media, they're being brought back. We're seeing more CEOs, not a ton yet. Still like to see a lot more, but we're seeing more who are saying, well, our company has to be more transparent than it's ever been, and me, the CEO, is a part of that, so I can be that part of that voice too. So we are seeing a little bit more of the trend finally shifting back to where the CEO and their role in the brand development could be greater than it has been before. And not just, again, at the meetings where they're talking about how we're going to steer our brand this way or that way, but also really getting involved in the social media type of thing where they're not, hopefully it's not something where they're just merely like, again, yeah, okay, that sounds good, just let me know how it's going on. Hopefully they're a bit more involved, and I think that's a good thing. The other part was, what does that mean for agencies now?
Hey, wait, before you get into that, I was curious. Did the article talk about a specific age group of CEOs? Is it all CEOs, or did they sort of point out? Well, this is interesting because this is a 50 to 70-year-old, or this is a 20 to 40-year-old CEO. I mean, was there any?
Even though it didn't, and I think that's kind of a good thing. We're not seeing it so much in age, that, oh, the 50-year-olds are doing it less than the 40-year-olds or anything like that. It's more, I think, about the personality of the CEO, but again, I think they're realizing that there's something important there where, you know, the voice of them is not issued necessarily through a standard press release. And
Yeah.
you know, so they're and look, I mean, even LinkedIn now with its publishing platform that they came out with is kind of giving these upper levels of management the opportunity to say, literally say more in a post in a very appropriate business setting than they ever have before. So I think that's a pretty cool thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I interrupted you, so you have
No,
more.
no. The only thing it was saying in relation to agencies, which I thought was, you know, kind of cool when you think about it, is remember when, you know, the phrase digital media agency came out and everybody, oh, we're a digital marketing agency and we're all about digital marketing. Now it seems almost silly to say that kind of stuff. We're in a digital world. So, with no offense to Uber Blue Digital Media, of course, but you know,
We're going through a rebranding, Dan.
after I just said that, but no, I mean it's kind of like you know, there's still digital in itself is so huge, and there's so much to it that it used to almost feel to me like, oh, we're a specialization of you call us in when you want to talk about digital stuff. Well, who the heck doesn't want to talk about digital stuff for the most part in some part of their marketing mix, right? So I think that will be interesting to see. You know, above all else, digital or not digital, it's still about the brand at the end of the day, and what's the core message, and what do we want to say, and then where does all of that go to? But the idea that it couldn't involve digital, or that, ooh, we're this special niche of digital, by saying we're a digital agency, it's changing now.
Well, you know, and you've heard me talk about this. We've talked about this. To say social media 3 or 4 years ago, we were all saying, well, social media is just a way to define how do you explain what we're doing, because it was so new, and everything's social media these days. And so, yeah, I agree with you. So if it's digital media, social media, whatever, and when social media was really new, the marketing people, the advertising people were all out there going, oh, we should make this our own, you know, marketing, or, you know, it's marketing. It falls under marketing. It falls under advertising. It falls under PR. It falls under all of those things. I mean, let's stop trying to segment it out. What it does do is it brings it all together, and it's just a part of our life every single day. And
I think all of us on the advertising and marketing side, you know, it's impossible if we're going to help these guys, these CEOs, as they come back to the table, and hopefully that is the shift that's coming. As they come back to the table more, than rather than being up there on the highest floor of the building and saying, let me know what's going on, and really getting in there with the trenches of marketing directors, I think one of the things that they'll want is, you know, help me navigate this stuff. Help me clarify the vision of our brand, and here's the goals that we want to achieve, but also how does this other stuff fit into the brand direction that we want to achieve. So, you know, we've got to be good stewards of that brand vision. We can't just be, you know, we're the digital people. Yeah, it's just there's got to be more to it, and so that'll be a nice challenge for agencies too. Is thinking about it. You can't just be like, well, let me tell you all about Twitter, or let me tell you all about Facebook, or whatever. You got to be a little bit thinking in the terms of managers who need you to focus on the brand first and foremost and speak to that.
Well, what we need to do, Dan, is we need to make everything an acronym. So I'm EJH, Eric John Haltman, and we're going to be doing SM, social media. And we're also doing DM, but PR, and we might do M, and we might do A. So I'm not really sure what all, but it's going to be Eric J. Haltman, SM, DM, A, M, PR. Is my new
You know, we should have a prize for the longest agency. If anyone can think of the longest agency name of acronyms, that person should be our next prize winner on the Buzz.
Dan, I believe you come up with the next weekly Buzz winner, and if you come up with that and post that, on the comment section of the YouTube channel here, you will be a guest on this amazing buzz.
So in other words, if you think of an agency and their name is GSDMK3, it's got like 10 letters and it's the most ridiculous name. I would love to know what the longest name ever for an agency is.
And then tell us what each letter stands for. So,
yes.
So you went 90125 STP NAACP. It's all. So, KFC though, it's
I always pitied the poor receptionist who had to say that. Good afternoon. Blah 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 blah.
Thanks for calling Uber Blue Digital Media, Haltman Gershenson, Haltman Gershenson, and Gershenson Haltman. So, as opposed to saying and son and daughter. So, good. We've come to we're almost out of time, but we've come to what I like to refer to as Buzz Bites. Dan, are you ready?
Let's do it.
So just a helpful Buzz Bite. The like button, when you like a page, a company page, what brand, on Facebook, if you go to the little liked button that's at the top of that page, and you can do this on all the pages, there's a little drop down, and you want to click Get Notifications so that you are up to speed on anything that page or that brand or Uber Blue Digital Media or Uber Blue DM is posting, and so you get those notifications sent to you. Be careful how many you do, because you're going to get notifications all the time if it's a page that posts repeatedly or multiple times a day. So because we don't want anybody to miss anything with Dan. So have you done that on any particular pages that you like, Dan?
I have not, but I think I will now.
You really should. Just wanted to talk real quickly about what I think is kind of the next debacle for Facebook is Slingshot. Now, Slingshot is Facebook's answer to Snapchat. Snapchat, you can share videos, pictures, so forth, and anybody that you're connected to is seeing these things. Slingshot, the catch here is that if you share something out there, somebody has to share something back before you can see what they've shared. So it's almost somebody said, or I saw this, you show me yours, I'll show you mine, kind of thing. And that could get a little wiggy, so we're not even going to go there. But I'll be interested to see. Have you tried Slingshot, Dan? Have you seen Slingshot?
I have not, but I saw something about relation to Facebook. It makes sense that Facebook is trying to roll that out a little bit, that, grabbing onto, I would assume, a younger portion of the demographic with something like that. I don't know what.
Well, what should have happened is, and maybe they tried. I don't know. Is they should have, and of course Snapchat didn't want to sell a few, what was it, a year ago? But they should have just bought Snapchat. They've got the money to do it. If that's really what they wanted to do, they should have done it.
I did see an interesting graph yesterday about Facebook and how, even though it's an ungodly amount of people on it, that it's starting to slowly and surely just decline a little bit, because if you're the equivalent to the fourth largest country in the world, last I checked, eventually it's got to be like, okay, there's nowhere to go. You have to suddenly decline a little bit over time. Well, it had sort of this feeling that around 2069 that Facebook would reach a point where it might not resemble anything of what it is today. That said, 2069, I think I'll be, well, I don't know, maybe in my 90s. So
we're lucky. We're still going to be doing the buzz.
I plan on being on my own island by then, but
you're on your own island.
Yes, I'm already there. But yeah, if it lasts that long, they're doing pretty well. It's not going to end anytime soon at that point.
Well, good news, Dan, because Amazon's just come out with something that's taking us to the next level of smartphones. They're 3D smartphones. They're called the Fire Phone. But the good news is that if you're a pure shopper, this is the phone for you, the smartphone, because that's really what it's built for, is commerce. It's kind of kitschy. things in 3D because it's got 4 cameras at either corner, like here, here, and here. Anyway, and it gives face recognition, so it could be Dan and Eric in 3D as far as what's that?
It will be interesting to see how that shakes out, because obviously you have the iPhone, you have Samsung, you have some different competitors. I will be curious to see how much of a bite they can take out of that market.
It's tough because they don't have all the apps yet, and maybe they're working on the apps. But I think the success of the phone really is based on our developers going to make apps that run on this particular smartphone. Because without that, Android and iPhone will kill them.
Yeah, well, they got to come up with something. You saw the FAA said that they couldn't do drones to deliver Amazon packages. So
no, those are specifically for bombs and spying.
Just for that.
Well, I prefer the bomb thing. Okay, so that's it for the buzz. Oh, one quick shout out, because I love great customer service, and I got to be honest, in the last 2 days I have had awesome customer service from GoDaddy. As you know, Dan, we have many clients that utilize GoDaddy services for websites, email, so forth. We use it for some of our stuff, and they have just been awesome, and many different things and reasons why I had to get in touch with them over the last 2 days. But hats off to the GoDaddy support team, because I did not have a bad experience at all, and that was with different customer service people. So somebody's doing good training. So
well done.
Yeah. So anything else you want to chat about, or?
No. I think it's good to
next week, prior to the 4th, because I don't know that everybody's going to. Although maybe people are sitting around watching us on the 4th of July.
Maybe so. Maybe we'll be back here next week, waving our American flags and doing a nice patriotic buzz.
That's right, Eric with no tan lines doing the patriotic buzz. So for the weekly buzz, I'm Eric Haltman.
And I'm Dan Gershenson.
We'll see you next week on The Buzz. Thanks for joining us. Subscribe and share us. Thank you.